the sheriff is in now. He can explain all of this far better than we can. It's a little slick out there. It's wintertime in the Mohawk Valley.
It is. And I'm not an anti-winter guy, but this back and forth thing is driving me crazy.
Yeah.
I look at the forecast; it's going to be 45 in a few days.
I know it's unbelievable.
Constant. Yeah, and it's a bit treacherous. I mean, there's a lot of parking lots obviously that are totally ice covered.
Yeah,
that snowpack. A day like today, the sun is real bright for folks heading eastbound. Not sure if that's a contributing factor to what's going on this morning, but just incredible the glare off the snow with the sun.
You know what I like is a good story that is kind of a novel type story. Could have been a disaster, but turns out really well. Nobody dies, and like the hand grenade doesn't go off.
That's right. A bit scary.
Quite a story here.
Yeah, a gentleman, local consignment shop. He purchased some stuff, as many of these folks do.
Sure.
And he was going through some stuff and came across what appeared to be a grenade. Thought it looked real original. Did the right thing. Called us. The first deputy that responded actually has a pretty strong military background. She said, "Oh yeah, this is the real deal." And we called the state police. There's a local trooper that's a bomb guy. He was right in the area. He came over, very confident that yes, in fact, it is the real deal. Safely secured it and detonated it in a safe place, well off-site.
Why don't you invite us to these detonations?
I
was thinking about that coming in this morning.
You're about the 8th person that's asked us that. Okay. Please invite us to these things.
Let us come. I'd like to see that thing going on.
Just a scary thing. I mean, here's something that someone had for a long time, and then this gentleman buys it in a box in a car, driving back, going through. I mean, it's amazing that nobody got hurt.
It's
just a good thing that obviously nothing happened.
Yeah. So in the detonation process, it's not like the trooper pulls the pin and throws it like he's. What's the process?
Well,
like
I don't know exactly, but it's obviously it's in an area where no matter what the explosion is, nothing's going to get hurt. No one's
might
going
even
to
be
get
robotic.
Hurt.
It might involve some sort of.
They do a lot of detonations at Homeland Security right next door to our office. And we do get invited to those occasionally because they purge stuff through that process, and it's pretty intense. Even when you're in a wide open area like Homeland Security out at the old airport.
Yeah.
I mean it's definitely an intense thing.
And there's also go ahead.
I was a guy who's only fired a gun one time. I don't understand this, but if they don't pull the pin, nothing's going to happen, right?
That's my understanding, but again, with a grenade that old, I mean, just merely rolling
just fall out. Let me tell a horrible story, if I
Okay.
can. That also didn't go bad, but it could have. I don't know if I've been doing nothing but talking the last 6 months about the fact that I had to move. We moved from a place that we lived in for 17 years, so I'm cleaning stuff out, and I'm not going to say this is hypothetical, Sheriff. Right. This is completely hypothetical. So
forget the preamble there.
I want you to be knowing. Right? I want you to know I could be completely making this story up. So let's just say I was going through a box of stuff from when I was in high school. My parents are like, "Hey, you're moving. Get this stuff out of our house." So they bring down all these boxes. I'm going through, little love notes from when I was in high school and all of this stuff that goes way back. I graduated in 1982. So inside there, let's just say maybe this person who's going through this box found an old pack of firecrackers. Mm-hmm. So, and my son, because, this year we were able to set off fireworks in the backyard. I know this would not be legal technically, but it's over 30 years old. So I'm packing stuff with my son, who's over 21. It's like, let me just set these off. No more than do I look to say no, but he lights a match, and the thing the whole thing, it all went off at the same time. Yeah, it was so old that it just exploded right there. It could have been a disaster.
Yeah, definitely. Scary
now
stuff.
This is hypothetical.
Of course. Yeah. In Herkimer County, right?
Right. That's a good point.
Out of his jurisdiction.
Out of my county.
Which I no longer live in, so, great, I'm in trouble now. At the end of the day, though, because it's old, you don't know what's going to happen, right?
Exactly. And like I said, obviously the paper must have been broken down. That's why it ignited so fast.
Yeah, and it went off. I'm like, and you hear stories of people losing fingers with fireworks, but you now have, I don't know, those old packs used to have like 40 or 30 firecrackers in there.
Of course, hypothetically, kids will to twist a bunch of packs together. And like
that's what we used to do. Yeah. Hypothetically. Yeah. In Herkimer County. All right, Sheriff, this is going to be a very big weekend for snowmobiling.
This is going to be a big one, and next week will be our largest. Martin Luther King weekend is the biggest snowmobiling weekend up here.
Didn't know that.
Because of the 3-day weekend.
And you get people from way out of town coming up for these trails.
And I just brought this map. I know the readers can't, or the listeners can't see it, but that's a map of Oneida County. And the red line's on there. That's 650 miles of groomed trails in Oneida County, and that doesn't count any of our neighboring counties. It's an awesome trail system, all maintained by volunteers, and that's the reason I'm here today. By law, it's always been that you have to register your snowmobile. It is the New York State law with DMV. If you're operating a sled off your property, you have to register it. Now, since the trail systems were organized, several years ago, 95% of the funding from the registrations goes back to the local snowmobile clubs, because these guys are all volunteers that are out grooming these trails, but they need the equipment to groom the trails. They need the fuel to run the groomers. They need they need the money to buy the signage, to do the ditch work, to do the bridging. So that's where they get their funding from. All of it comes from that source. So we're encouraging people that we're on this little push here this week because we don't want to write people tickets. That's the last thing we want to do. But it's $100 to register your snowmobile. But if you join a snowmobile club, it's only $55. You get $45 off. So again, it is a 50% savings. Okay. And again, all that money goes to these local snowmobile clubs. We're pushing this as much as we can this week because this weekend, actually starting this afternoon, we'll have 4 sleds out on the trails like we do every weekend. The sheriff's office. We're going to be in some hot spots. We're also going to have our road patrol team up with these guys on road crossings and some unloading stations. Because like I said, we're trying to educate people as much as we can, but at the end of the day, it is the law. If you have a sled, you have to register your sled. I have to register mine. If I have one, everyone has to. That is the law. And for some reason this year, it's the lowest number of memberships to these local clubs that they've ever experienced. But yet the volume of snowmobiles on the trail system is higher than it's ever been.
The problem is we've had such nasty, terrible, warm.
And that's what a lot of people are saying. Their stickers on the sleds are from 2012 and 2013, and they're telling my guys, look, it's the weather. The past few winters have been so terrible. First time out, and. But at the end of the day, you've got to do it. It's so easy. You can go on your phone, go on a DMV's website. You can actually do your registration and club registration right there. Show our guys the receipt that you get in an email on your app on your iPhone, and you're in compliance.
And by the way, when these people come from out of town to get to the snow here and they do the trails,
the out of towners aren't the biggest problem. It's the locals. Yeah.
Well, where I was going with this is that they spend money here. This is a major impact
these 650
on the
miles
economy.
Of trails. There's fueling stations. There's restaurants. There's gin mills. There's everything. I mean, and so they benefit from it too. That's why we've got to make sure that everyone's in compliance, and that's our push this week.
And I noticed on that map too, it says 0% alcohol. Is that the zero
tolerance for snowmobiling while intoxicated.
Right. So even if you're at 0.01.
No. That's not what that meant. That just said,
all right.
you
I
can't
just
be
wanted to be
intoxicated.
clear. Okay.
And the consequences are a little bit different from because you're not being arrested under the vehicle and traffic law.
So do you blow?
You do. It's the same process.
But
you're being charged under the New York State Parks and Recreation law instead of the New York State Vehicle and Traffic law.
Okay.
Still carries some pretty stiff penalties. Something as simple as like if you get ticketed for not having a registration, that's a $200 fine. So why not do it the right way? Pay the $45 or the $55 or $45. I'm sorry, keep reversing those two, and you're in compliance. And again, those snowmobiling clubs get 95% of the funding from all the snowmobile registrations in the state.
Yeah, that's big.
That's huge.
I wanted to make one more note on the hand grenade issue. Yes. A little fun fact for you: during the war, World War II, hundreds of thousands of those hand grenade casings for the military, they were poured. In Utica at Utica Radiator.
Really? Didn't know that.
So
wow,
that hand grenade very well might have actually been made. The casing might have been made in Utica.
Again, it all worked out.
Nobody got hurt.
Nobody got hurt.
Could have been a bad
the
situation.
Person did the right thing. Called the police. Again, just goes to show you the vast majority or vast types of calls that we go on. I mean, here we are, the deputy before that was on a car accident, and they're going to a live grenade call. You know what I mean? It's this career is so fluid. I mean, that's the thing that attracted me to this 28 years ago is you never know what's coming. I mean, every day I go home, I've never had a repeat story of the day before.
Well, here's one. The story that's out today of the two guys that the one guy ended up shooting the other guys. Was that his Oneida County? Shooting his tires out, or was that in Onondaga? It was over an argument over a snowmobile. I'll try to find the story. And it ended with the guy shooting up the other guys, his neighbor's tires.
It's just, like I said, I think it's just it's a crazy time we're in right now.
Crazy
I've never
world.
seen anything like it.
I know, I'm
really
with you.
Scary.
It is.
And one quick last thing. The folks out there that have questions about the recertification on these pistol permits,
right.
we're referring everyone to the state police website or call the state police. That we don't have the answers to all these complex questions. Neither does our pistol permit office. That's a state police issue. And again, you can go right to their website, and they have a whole bunch of commonly asked questions.
Right. And we have a story on our website right now that you can go and get that information.
All right, Sheriff Rob
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.